our second meeting of the month of June, and we are unveiling some really interesting stuff tonight. I think you guys are going to really enjoy this. Everything with the whole idea of increasing duplication and making things simpler. So we're going to kick off and go right into some things. I always like to frame the conversation, Eddie, I know you do too, about what we built this whole thing for in the first place. And obviously we want to help people enroll customers. We want to help folks develop directors. But the real trick is helping your directors develop directors. And that's where the duplication piece comes in, the cycle. And so we're always talking about the cycle and the process, but that's what 123 was built for. So with that in mind, I want to go right into some enhancements and updates. We're going to be showing you some new video content that is live as of tonight and where to find it. And I want you guys to take some good notes and please help your team members with this information, spread the word. I am going to post up the recording of this in the Facebook group, and you guys can tag your team members who might not have been able to make it tonight. But for those of you who are here, we're so glad to have you. All right, so let's dive right in. So first of all, one thing that's kind of been on our mind is that we have a lot of stuff that either needs just, little tweaks here and there or updates or better integration into the system. So we've actually decided to overhaul the entire system. So we're calling it kind of like version 3.0. We had our beta, then we had our main system launch, and now we're kind of redoing everything all over the place. Every part of the system will be touched by the time we're done with this over the next couple of weeks and months. So we're releasing it as we go, and we're not just going to wait and do it all at once. We're releasing it as we go. So that's kind of this version 3.0 logo that you see on the screen here. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is that we have updated the US product checklist. The Canada one is being worked on as we speak, so that will be coming soon, definitely by the next time that we do one of these. The new products have been added, such as all of the new men's alloy that you see here. Also discontinued products such as the gum under dental care has been taken out. We've added a couple of other things in here that we noticed that we're missing from the checklist. We don't want to make it too long, but at the same time, potential product points so that they have higher scores is always a welcome thing. So you'll see we put the flexible fabric bandages on there under the medicine cabinet and other such things. So thank you, Ashley, by the way, for helping out with that. Really appreciate it. So discontinued products removed. And obviously with some fluctuating prices, we have our prices currently updated to what they are right now in the catalog and on the website. So that's going to be one thing that you notice, and we can take a look at that later. Another thing that we're going to take a look at is really excited. We are completely overhauling the Getting Started and the Strategy Session. These are two very important bases in our rounding of the bases to develop directors. So for the Getting Started, you'll see automatically tonight that it has been simplified in terms of its layout and its formatting. It is streamlined. It looks great on mobile, but it looks great on the web as well. And we have a brand new introduction video to kick this thing off and set it in the right direction. We're going to show you that tonight. It's just a little one. It's a 90-second, but it's new, so we'll show it. And also, we have added something really cool. I'm going to show you this when we go to the Getting Started live. But we have an extra credit video that's now embedded into that second screen of the Getting Started. After they complete the 5 steps and they say, yes, I've completed it, and it takes them to a strategy session prep list. Well, it used to be just an image there of like a pencil and paper or something, but now we've got an extra credit video. We call it extra credit because if they discover it, that's great. If you got someone really sharp and maybe they really need to dive into our business model a little bit more, what it is a modified version of the consumer direct marketing versus multi-level marketing training, where we talk about how Melaleuca competes in the real economy, the types of companies we compete with, why and how we're different from the MLM companies in that direct selling arena. And it's been modified to where we've put parts 1 and 2 together and taken out anything that didn't need to be there for new enrollees. So it's all appropriate and all great for anyone who's just done their Getting Started and getting geared up for the strategy session. So that is now there, and you can direct people to it, or you can let them find it on their own, but it's a really cool extra credit video. We've had success for a number of years, right, Eddie, sending that video as kind of like extra credit for our super excited people and ones that we wanted to educate about the business model.
Yeah, and let me just, before you move this slide,
yep.
I want everyone to understand why we're simplifying the whole 1-2-3 system. It was built, again, as Chris said, to enroll customers, develop directors. You can read the compensation plan. There's, I don't know how many pages are involved in the compensation plan, but the bottom line is when you develop a director, you've put a run on the scoreboard. It's how you win any game with runs. What's interesting here is that after a couple of years of training and trying to teach people how to follow the correct way to develop directors, acquire customers, and develop directors and get it to duplicate, what we figured out recently over the past year is that people try to trick the deal, for lack of a better word. They want to skip a base. They don't want to take the time. They want to run from home plate to first base and back to home plate. Well, you can't put a run on the board that way. There's a certain process that needs to be followed in order to build a very strong, Melaleuca, willable business to our children. We have done it. We're consistently in the process of doing it, and there's probably nobody better in the company. There's plenty of people that are equal to what we've done, but nothing better than 1, 2, 3, go green in terms of following a simple process. So these enhancements were designed for the person to stop tricking the deal, just follow the bases. And you'll see what Chris has done and with a lot of conversation between the both of us back and forth, what can we do to get people to really pay attention? And this is what we're hoping you can do. I had a conversation with someone in my business that's been a veteran for quite a while. And they said, well, I really haven't been able to connect the dots there and so forth and so on. And I'm thinking, well, maybe it was just a little bit too busy for them. I'm not a big computer guy. So we've boiled a little bit of the water out of it to make it just lukewarm and easy to understand. So this is good stuff. And rather than putting it all out all at once, there'll be a series of these meetings over the next few weeks or month, as Chris had said, with these new additions for 3.0 to really make this thing shine. So if you've got folks that were in the business or still in the business that tried 1, 2, 3, get this video to them, get them trained on this stuff. We think they'll be thrilled with it. And as soon as it's finished in the next couple of weeks, we know that we'll be able to help everybody develop directors.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Eddie. Really put that very succinctly. That's what it's all about. So another one here is one of my favorites. We are really improving the strategy session with the goal in mind that this is somebody who has decided to partner up with us, link arms. They are making a commitment of time and of effort and reputation. And so we want to get them off to the best start possible. We just can't have any gaps or any areas where they can kind of slip through the fingers, so to speak. We need to make sure that none of our people slip through the cracks, and having a very solid strategy session that outlines the process, that helps it duplicate, is something that's really important to us. So actually this past weekend, I had a chance on Saturday to completely voice over the entire strategy session, all 5 steps again. So we're taking those one by one and introducing them as video. So the cool thing is we've got the first one that's going to be played for you tonight. It's a new step 1 video that is a little bit different. The current one's about 90 seconds long, and it talks about the coaching relationship, being coachable. It also talks about, sets kind of the tone for the rest of the strategy session. But now we're taking that old roadmap video that used to be step 5, and that's gone. And we're using this new baseball diamond thing. Eddie's been talking about it for years, but we're using the baseball diamond now to teach the process. And that's going to be embedded into step 1. So they can start getting to know the process in a very simple way right up front. So and that just means too that it's 1 step shorter. So 5 instead of 6. And like I mentioned, all the strategy session videos are being updated. I cannot wait to get that compensation one, determine your pacing goals in video format. So it'll be so much easier to visualize and understand. So that's coming out too. You'll see that tonight, or the first one anyway. Also, this is really cool. You guys are going to love this. There actually has been something that we feel is really going to help that wasn't there before, that really needed to be there. And so I realized this when we were in Fast Track, and there were just a whole lot of new people on the team, a lot of people running for directors that had their directors that had their directors, and so many new people. And when you're growing fast, you can't be all places at all times and everything to everyone. So there's little things that you kind of need to teach people that can slip through the cracks when you're growing quickly or even semi-quickly. One of them is, okay, I just enrolled a new partner. We did a strategy session. They started to invite their first few people to a 1, 2, 3 customer introduction or a 2-on-1 with their coach, or maybe even you've got someone doing group overviews and you've got, or maybe you're doing group overviews and you've got your new partner bringing their first prospects. Well, what about how do we teach them how to do the online enrollment and what to do post-enrollment, including the shopping, by the way? So we've got an instructional that is meant to be sent out on a need-to-know basis. So you'll actually see we have a need-to-know section that will help people at certain points of their journey when they need information, but it's not really in the strategy session or it's not really in the getting started because it wouldn't make sense to be there. So we've got this really cool video that's called How to Help People Enroll Online and Help, or How to Enroll Customers Online and How to Help Them Shop. You're going to love it. And that's going to be here under the new Need to Know section under Send Info. I'm going to show you where it is and show you how to get there. And we're actually going to watch the video. All right, so here those are right there. How to enroll online. Oh yeah, and we embedded the placement training video so that you guys can send that to your new builders as they are starting to learn how to place and structure their group at the end of the month. So that's in here too. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, I wrote down, it's not a replacement though for good coaching. So yeah, it's easy to send someone the video on how to do the online enrollment, help them shop and what to send them. It's easy to send someone a placement strategy video, but that doesn't replace being a good coach and diving into their business with them. All right. And then I might as well bring this up right now and then we can come back to it at the end too, but definitely save the dates because, you know, we have 2 of these every month, 2nd and 4th Wednesday. The 2nd Wednesday in July is July 13th. And then the 4th Wednesday is the 27th, 8:30 p.m. as always. And we're going to have the best ones that we've had are coming out on that day. So I'm really excited about that. All right, Eddie, so should we go out to the website and take a look at everything live?
100%. I'm excited.
All right, let's do it now. Okay, hang on one second. Let me switch my share here and let's go to the website. All right, so I don't know about you, but every time I log into this website now that it's been so simplified and streamlined, I mean, it's just, look at that, so simple. It's just so nice to see. And I want to show you guys the first new thing. So in getting started, so you're going to notice that the format of getting started looks a little bit different. It's more streamlined and simplified. The strategy session is going to be matching that by the next one that we do of these. But here you go as the strategy session. So first thing you'll notice is that we have replaced the, getting started here, we've replaced that, I think it was like a jogger's foot or something that was there. I get the idea behind that, but this, I think, as a visual, definitely will help people understand that we're running the bases right now. So as someone opens the getting started, they're going to see bases. They're going to see that we are on second base, and there's the instructions right there. Those haven't changed, but all of the videos, same size. It looks great on mobile. They all work great together. And I'm going to play the first one for you. And this is not like the, you know, it's just an introduction video. So it's not like the sparkling, you know, amazing video, but it's still pretty good. So I'll play it for you guys. Hang on one second. Congratulations on your preferred membership with Melaleuca and welcome to 123 Go Green. The 123 Go Green system provides you the tools you'll need to introduce customers and develop personally enrolled directors. The focus of our training is to help you reach the status of Director 3 as quickly as possible and to show you how to help your partners do the same. By doing this, you'll develop solid repeat income while earning exciting bonuses along the way. Here in the Getting Started module, you'll build a solid foundation as you prepare for the strategy session with your coach. In step 2, you'll log into Melaleuca.com and watch Melaleuca's Foundations video, which contains a special message from our company's senior leadership. Next, you'll learn why it's so important for new customers and partners to start their Melaleuca product experience with either the Home Conversion Pack or the Value Pack. After that, step 4 takes you through the high points of the 123 Go Green customer introduction and how we use it to introduce customers and partners.
And finally, in step 5, you'll learn how to create your initial list of contacts to share Melaleuca with. We ask that you do not contact anyone about Melaleuca yet, not until after the strategy session, where we'll teach you the best ways to approach and invite. Once you've completed all 5 steps, please click on the button at the bottom, which notifies your coach that you're ready for the strategy session. And now, let's get started.
Okay, like I said, just a very quick, very basic introduction, but you see everything is updated to, the way that the company is right now. We're saying repeat income or repeating income instead of residual income. So that's in there. And as we replace everything in the system, we'll be doing that and getting everything up to date. All right, so let's see. Eddie, any comments on that?
No, I was just gonna say, one base leads to the other. I mean, you got them out of the dugout by inviting them to at least take a look at what you're excited about. You got them to first base by showing them 1, 2, 3 introduction. They're at first base. Chris is gonna show you how easy it is to actually enroll them online, and we'll give good instruction to that to these new folks that have no idea actually how to do it. And most of the folks on this call that have been kicking around a while realize that if you don't enroll them online, at the end of the presentation, whether you get an order or not, if you don't enroll them online, they have a very high degree of going dark on you. We want to eliminate that the best we can, especially for the new guy that just seems to have trouble handling it. So one base leads to the other. First leads to second. You just saw the very beginning of second base, the getting started. Now this leads to third. And when third is done, they understand exactly what their job is, how they're going to do it, how much time they can spend, how much time you can spend with them, and they're going to have a home run. When they have a home run, you have a home run, and that's how we win the game long term.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see we're in every step we're talking about the other steps. I mean, so it's really cool how it all comes together.
Yeah, deep into it. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and then by the way, obviously the getting started also includes the foundations video, the instructions to get there, that they need to check that out for Pacesetter. I mean, it's so important right now, especially with these double bonuses that they have going on. So anyway, we love that. And then let's see, we're going to the strategy session now. So I want to play the first video in the strategy session for you guys. This is going to set the tone, I believe, in a much more effective way with our new partners. And remember, the strategy session is billed as a nuts and bolts training. I mean, it's when Eddie likes to say, when the rubber meets the road. So yeah, it's part inspiration, but it's also part nuts and bolts. We do need to learn the process here and touch on the things that are the most important for someone who's just getting started with their business. So remember, like I said, the strategy session is going to have the same format. So it'll have a little picture with the baseball diamond with the third base in color. And I'm going to play this first video for you. So I am blowing them up big. I know that sometimes depending on your data stream, it could look a little choppy. Don't worry, it's not actually a choppy video. It's actually very high resolution. Looks great, but playing it over Zoom may look like that. But I'm going to play this for you guys. And now put yourself in the mindset of someone who's just brand new. Maybe they're giving their first strategy session to someone who's even newer than them. And ask yourself, does this set the tone the right way, and introduce them to the process and how we work together as coach and coachee. All right, here we go.
Welcome to the 1, 2, 3 Go Green strategy session. In this training, you and your coach will discuss the reasons why you've decided to partner with us. Then we'll cover compensation basics and determine your pace and goals. After that, we'll discuss who you plan to introduce to Melaleuca and how to make those approaches. We'll wrap up by creating a plan of action, and you'll gain access to your own 1, 2, 3 Go Green account so that you can begin enrolling customers and developing directors right away. 1, 2, 3 Go Green is all about simplicity and duplication. We follow a proven process that's built right into the system. In 1, 2, 3 Go Green, we teach this process using the analogy of a baseball diamond. Imagine you're a baseball player and you're about to step up to the plate. Your ultimate goal is to hit a home run every time, right? In 1, 2, 3 Go Green, we consider a home run to be developing a personal director. We all know that the person who develops the most personally enrolled directors wins the most. So we want to run around these bases as many times as possible. The first step is coming out of the dugout and stepping up to the plate. This represents the approaching and inviting step. Nothing happens until we do this. Every time you attempt to set an appointment with a prospect, that's like an at-bat. If they agree to the appointment, congratulations, you're headed to first base. That's the 1, 2, 3 customer introduction, which consists of the 90-second preview, the product checklist, and the membership summary, also called the overview. This is the step where we enroll the customer, help them shop, and schedule a strategy session appointment with any category 2 or 3 members. We also, very importantly, send them a link to the Getting Started exercise and ask them to complete it before the strategy session meeting. So second base is the Getting Started training. It's a self-guided exercise that we send to the new enrollee at the time of enrollment. This is very important because it gives the new enrollee more information about the company and the business. It reinforces their decision to be a Melaleuca member, and it instills confidence about their ability to succeed with the business. We want them to complete this very soon after their enrollment. Most importantly, it prepares them for the strategy session, which actually happens to be third base in our baseball scenario. So the strategy session is where you are right now. It's a coach-led training that gives new partners the tools and confidence to begin inviting prospects and get them on the path to director and beyond. Once you've finished running the bases yourself, now it's time to help your partners run the bases and learn the process. One day soon, you'll be the coach. So it's critical to learn from your coach now when you're new, so that you can teach the process correctly as your organization grows. And that leads us to our final point. Even though 1, 2, 3 Go Green is simple, it's critical to remain coachable. Now, being coachable means 3 things to me: keeping your commitments, communicating with your coach, and following the process. There is no need to reinvent the wheel. So, trust your coach and trust the process. If you work it consistently, it will work for you.
There we go. Now let's go to our strategy session. Eddie, what you think?
That was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. And it's so easy to follow. I mean, it's so easy. You can actually feel like you're almost playing baseball here, and you just had a home run. And the guy with the most home runs wins the game.
That's right. And so I'm really excited to roll out everything else. We should have the strategy session. I'm always careful with what I promise, on timeline, because everybody is excited, right? We're all excited. But I really do plan to have the strategy session done by the next one of these that we do. All the 5 steps, all completely done. It's going to be awesome. But I love the way that even just the first one ties everything in together. Hey, by the way, I actually forgot to show the end of the Getting Started. Let me jump back over there real quick, and then we'll go to our last one. But did you guys notice at the end, we always thought it was really cute how we had the toggles that were yes or no for every single step, but we found that some people may just not feel like doing all 5 of those and then clicking the finished button. So we want more people to click the finished button at the bottom. Yes, I've completed all 5 steps. So we just wanted to summarize, have you finished all 5 steps? One button they press, and then it goes to what we call the strategy session prep list. See, that's right there. Remember what I was talking about, how before it just used to be a picture, but now it is the modified consumer direct marketing versus multi-level marketing video that talks about how we're different, what our corporate culture is, the real economy that we play in, why we can compete if we took away the business and the person and all that stuff, if we took away all the commissions, if we took it all away and put Renew on the shelf at the store down the street, would it compete in the real economy? And it does. So that video is right there. Again, it's a modified version. It's still about 30 minutes, but we cut about 15 minutes out to make it more appropriate and better for people who are brand new and just getting started. So again, to have that there as extra credit, I think is a really valuable tool for all of us, especially when we get that person that really wants to dive in. People get excited. They want to find out everything right away. And we need to have things to guide them to between that time of enrollment and the strategy session. So this is just a great another little extra credit video. Eddie, any comments on that?
No, that's fabulous. I'm glad you cut it back a little bit, although the 45-minute version is all that and 2 bags of chips. People at this particular point in their career with Melaleuca won't have that kind of time. So bringing it down to 30 minutes and giving them the essentials, this is really something special. Consumer direct marketing versus MLM. and why we compete in the real economy, and some other things to come. Really
Yeah.
good.
And by the way, just with COVID and everybody trying to work from home, and there's just been an explosion of people in multi-level marketing sending out, text messages and videos, and they're in this deal, then they're in that deal, and they're posting on Facebook. And so we've had an uptick in people who are new partners getting confronted with this objection. We tell them not to talk to anybody between the enrollment and the strategy session, but they're gonna talk to their spouse, they're gonna talk to their best friend, their neighbor, their wife, or whoever, their sister, who thinks they know everything about this and they don't. And so we're getting people confronted with this. Is this one of those multi-level marketing things? So just to have people with that armor, and even if they can't remember all the detail from this, just to have the conviction that no, it's not. We compete in the real economy, and I can tell you why. So it's just really, I think, going to be a powerful tool again to have at this point in the process. Okay, so now we're going to go to. Hang on a second. There we go. So now we're going to go to the brand new need to know section. And right now we've got 2 trainings in there that are sent to people kind of between steps in the process, kind of what they need on a need to know basis. So when do you need to know how to do the online enrollment, take them shopping, and what to send them after they pick their category? When do you need to know that? Well, you don't really need to know the nuts and bolts of how to do an online enrollment like in the strategy session. That would be just a little too much, right? We don't want to focus on that there. So when do we send it? Well, how about when the new partner is about to have their first prospect attend the overview? And so that's when they need to know. So that's why we've called this the need to know section. Where do you find it? Well, unfortunately, I don't have mobile up, but in the app, that when you go to the app and open it up, there is a send info screen. I can kind of show it, but it's going to be really tiny here on my little thing, right? So there's your send info, and then a drop-down menu, which is right here, for approaches. And so this is the menu where anything we're sending out that we want to have notification that they click on it, which I definitely want for these videos. Is in that drop-down menu. So where it says tap for approaches and more, or here on the web page, it's just there. It's not a drop-down menu. You can see that right at the bottom of that list, it says need to know, right down at the bottom. And when you click on that, you've got 2 options: how to enroll online and help them shop now, and placement strategy, how to structure your organization. So when might someone need that? Well, I mean, technically, by the time they've got their 5th enrollment, their first generation is probably going to be filling up there, and they need to know a little bit about placement, but definitely at the end of their first month, towards the end of the calendar month, when you're going to be helping them structure their organization, it really helps coaches do a better job to have this, but it also helps you with your new people to do a better job as well. Remember, we said these are not a substitute for being a good coach. It's just to help you in your coaching and help to make it simple. So I want to click on this, and I would just be sending this to a tester, right? And I'm just going to generate a link for myself here. There's a link. Now I could either use these icons down here to pull up a messaging app or email. On the app, you can send it directly through text from your phone. But for here, I'm actually going to just cut that out, open up a new browser window, paste it, and there's the video. So I'm going to play the video for you guys right now. Now, this one is a bit more lengthy. It is 9 minutes. However, it is great at that point where the customer is just starting to invite their own prospects. So they've been through their strategy session. They're making their approaches. Maybe you and that person have an overview that evening with their first prospect. Maybe it's their mom. Maybe it's their neighbor, somebody. And you need to teach them how to enroll that person. You're not going to be able to do it for them. They have to do it. So this is what you would send. And keep that in mind as you watch it. I'm going to go ahead and press play. And Eddie, I'm going to mute both of us while we watch this one, okay?
Okay.
All right.
In this video, you'll learn how to enroll customers and partners and how to take them shopping for the first time. We'll begin by logging into melaleuca.com and then clicking on Business Center at the very top of the home screen. Once you're in the Business Center, please hover over Enrollments and then click on New Enrollment. After that, click on Start a New Enrollment. Then a screen will pop up which asks you, the enroller, to provide a little basic information. You'll first want to indicate what category they selected, category 1, 2, or 3. And then you'll want to enter their first and last name, an email address, and their best mobile phone. Then select what kind of overview was performed, whether it was a live group meeting or in person or over the phone or on a webinar. Indicate the country of enrollment, and then leave the membership type as member. And then it's time to indicate who the presenter was. And this is a very important step because people do receive credit for being listed as the presenter. So on the honor system, we want to make sure that we give credit to whoever it was that walked that customer through the presentation, and they are the presenter. For instance, it impacts leadership points. It also impacts directors 5 and above who do get paid for presentations. So make sure whoever the presenter was, you list them as the presenter. Now, if it was you, just click the little box that says I was the presenter. If not, you can look up the presenter by either their Melaleuca account number or by their phone number. And so if you know the phone number of the presenter, you can just type it in and then click search and then select them. After that, it's the enroller, and you, by default, will be the enroller because you're the one generating this link out of your account, which also means that you cannot enroll someone unless they are your customer. So you can't enroll people for others. You can only enroll your own customers from melaleuca.com. Then it asks you for the immediate support team marketing executive, and that is the person in your organization that this customer will be placed directly on their first generation. We're not going to get into placement strategies here in this training, but you can either let the computer pick the next available and then work with your enroller or your coach to figure out what's the best way to structure your group at the end of the month, or you can select somebody now by looking up their phone number and selecting them. Now, a quick word of warning that placement and the way you structure your organization has implications for your long-term success and profitability. So, if you let the computer pick, please do not leave it that way. Make sure that by the end of this calendar month, you get together with your coach and discuss the placement strategy for all of your customers. Once you're finished with the enroller, presenter, and immediate support team marketing executive, simply check the box that says that the person has given permission to be sent this link. And then on the next screen, you'll actually have the enrollment link. Now, this is going to be the link that is embedded in the email that goes to your customer. You also have the link in case you need it, or in case they didn't get it for some reason. You can copy it right there by pressing the copy button. So now it's the customer's turn to drive. You've sent the link, and now you're still walking them through the process over the phone. I never just send the link and then hope they fill it out on their own. I'm still walking them through the process, and I tell them to check their email. And so we've gone here to this Gmail account for this fictitious customer, and they will get an email from Melaleuca where they have a little green button on the inside that says complete enrollment. Once they click on that, they'll be taken to this screen where it says become a Melaleuca member today, and everything that you filled out previously will be automatically populated. They will create a password and they'll confirm it. Their username will be their email address. And incidentally, by the way, if the person's using a Gmail account, they'll want to check their promotions folder for this email from Melaleuca. It may not come directly to their inbox. So the customer fills out their information, their street address, city, state, zip, their phone number. They'll enter their method of payment. And then they check the boxes at the bottom to indicate that they do agree with the terms. And then they'll go to the next screen. So if you've done a lot of these, then you already know what the customer's going through on their end. But what if you're kind of new and you don't know exactly what they might be looking at? There is a link on the enrollments page to enrollment forms, and then the first one is the online enrollment guide. You can use this document to follow along because it shows you exactly what your customer is seeing. This document's available not just on the Melaleuca website, but it's also available on the very last screen of the 123 customer introduction for your convenience. So let's get down to the point where we left off. And after the customer fills out their payment information and clicks that they do agree to the terms, they will be taken to the backup order screen. And this is where they acknowledge what the backup order is and that they're aware of it. I tell them just check the box and then press continue, and that they can customize that later. But hopefully that they'd never even receive a backup order, so it should be just a moot point. It says, congratulations, your account has been created, and it asks them if they'd ever like to earn referral commissions with Melaleuca. Now, if they're a category 2 or a 3, then obviously you want to click on that, have them select their category, and then I like them to enter their social security number now, because if they make over $600 in the year, then that's going to be reported for tax purposes. So better just to do it now and not have to worry about it later. Then below, they're asked to type their name exactly as it appears right above that little box. And if they type that in, that is considered their digital signature, and the paperwork is considered signed. After that, we want to keep things moving right along, and we have them click on the Begin Shopping button. That will take them directly to the Melaleuca product store. And then the home conversion pack pops up, which I describe in great detail. I tell them exactly what it comes with and all of the advantages of starting with a home conversion pack. And by the way, we do have a terrific training on why the packs are so important, and that is included in the Getting Started exercise that we send to our category 2s and 3s. You can actually watch that yourself by going to the Getting Started icon on the dashboard at 123go.green. So I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but I definitely try to get them to understand why a pack is so important for their first shopping experience, especially the category 2s and 3s. And if that's not the right pack for them, maybe I'll show them the value pack next. And if that's still not right for them, maybe we'll look at some of the other savings packs, and you can just have them type in savings packs at the top, because those are some really good ones too. The packs just make it so much easier to help them shop right away without having to go through and select each product one by one. Now, if you do have to end up in that situation, it's still best to have them shop now. And here's a really important tip when helping your customer shop. Make sure that you take the customer through every screen all the way to the end where it says, thank you for shopping and an email receipt has been sent. Because sometimes the customer thinks they're done, but they're not really done. So let's talk about what we do with category 1, 2, and 3 customers. So if you have a category 1 customer, then it's really simple. Help them shop, and you'll want to send them the new member essentials from the 123go Green system. So when you have a category 2 or 3 enrollment, that's fantastic news. They're saying, I like you, I trust you, I think we could do this together. But it's really important to give them a track to run on, and we have that track here at 123go Green. They need to have a strategy session with you within 24 to 72 hours preferably. And during that time, we need them to do the Getting Started, which you'll send immediately after they enroll and after you schedule the strategy session, and ask them to complete that before the strategy session meeting. The easiest way is to open up the 123go Green app, go to the Send Info button, and then look down the list of options, and you'll see Send Getting Started. So there you go. You now know how to enroll customers and partners and how to place their first shopping order at the time of enrollment.
Okay. Eddie, do you think that's going to help anybody?
I think it's going to help everybody, including me. I mean, this is, remember now, this is what you would send to your new person just prior to them having you help them through with their first new customer. So Chris has enrolled me. I'm going to show my sister up in Michigan. I need Chris's help, but Chris can't enroll her for me. I have to do the work there. So he's going to send me this little 9-minute, beautiful, couldn't be done better piece on exactly what to do. So when my sister, see how it duplicates. If I help my sister and she has her best friend enroll a customer the following week and she doesn't know how to do this, well, it doesn't get done. So now I have the ability through 123 to send this same exact video to my sister so that she can send it to her friend who will know exactly what to do when they enroll. The fact that packs are mentioned is huge. The value in the packs is beyond. And you know, when you have a fairly large organization with a couple of hundred folks or even more, you would not believe how that falls through the cracks. If people didn't buy one, they'll never try to sell one or talk about it because they don't know the value. Here it is right up front and personal, whether you bought one or not. Whether I bought one or not, my sister needs to know the value of it, and 123 Go Green has helped her help her friend and help herself make the right decision. We know that packs win the day. They give you posture, the knowledge is posture, and they duplicate. Great job.
Thank you. Yeah, we want to cut down on a few things that can sometimes happen, such as not really knowing how the enrollment works. I mean, the first part of this is kind of nuts and bolts. So it takes you through the steps, but it also talks about what is the immediate support team marketing executive, someone who's brand new and hasn't been coached. They would have no idea what to do with that. Most of them just figure out to click the button, but then they don't know that that has anything to do with placement or even what that is. So it gives them kind of that warning to say, hey, work with your coach on this by the end of the month, and talks about what it is without being too complicated. Talks about packs, like you said. It also talks about what to do with a category 1, a 2, or a 3 member and why that's so important. So yeah, it is a bit lengthy. It's 9 minutes, but I think it's just such a valuable 9 minutes at that person's stage where they're at, where they're going to first need this video. And don't worry, I'm going to go back and go ahead.
I absolutely love how you dabbled in on the placement side, where you showed the chess. You know, for years we've always said placement is like chess, not checkers. I have never taught, nor have I ever done in 30 years, ask the computer to pick. I mean, I can't let the computer doesn't know this person. The computer doesn't care about placement. The computer doesn't understand how important placement is, as Chris said in the video, long-term, and building a long-term viable business that will last a lifetime. When me and Tommy and Alan and Nona got into this business 30 years ago, no one had a clue as to where to place people or why. And we studied this compensation plan and understood our 5x7 matrix to the point where we began to teach it. And that's when people really started to win big time with Melaleuca.
Yeah. Well, what about shopping now? Because that is now easier than ever before. We enroll online. They're taken directly to the Melaleuca product store. And I think the first thing that pops up still in the enrollment phase is the packs. And so being able to help people shop now, and then showing them that they got to go through all the screens all the way to the end. You know how if you're a brand new shopper, maybe you're not expecting that extra deals page that pops up right before the last screen. So we show that. We've had a couple of times where people thought that they shopped with their customer, but it never actually went through. It was just still sitting in their cart. So you don't want that situation to happen. So we address that here too. I would actually tell my people, watch it twice. Watch it the first time, watch it the second time. Because it's a link that we generate from the system, you do get notified in your app when they open it, which I love that too.
And remember, it is 9 minutes. However, this is not going to somebody that's just dabbling in the bit. This only goes to that person that has rounded the bases. They've gone firmly through third. They're heading home. They're already inviting people to come and listen. They've got their first 2 or 3 appointments set. And now they need to know exactly how to enroll those customers going forward and get it to duplicate. So this isn't something that you just send to somebody and say, oh, by the way, if you do enroll or if you decide to enroll someone. Oh, no. This comes firmly after they've already set a couple of appointments. So there's no wasted time here.
Yep, that's right. And, you know, I will also mention that we are looking at restructuring this menu. It's just, you know, having the app talk to the website can be a little bit limiting of where we put things. So I know it may seem like it's buried. That's why you need to know where the need to know is. Okay, so it's the last selection under the approaches drop down. on your app. Most people use the app a little more than they use the website for sending content. So when you hit send info, and then there's that drop down menu that says approaches and more. This is part of the more. Okay. So you would click on need to know. And then you've got your two. Now, we mentioned placement. Oh my goodness. That person is going to come back to their coach at the end of the month and say, hey, the enrollment video said that I need to look at where I'm placing these people. They said it was really important. It was chess, not checkers. What do I do? And guess what? We've got how to do the placement strategy as well. And that was about a 30-minute training that we did as part of 1, 2, 3 Essentials that's been edited down for time. And we've got that here. So it's actually the 1, 2, 3 Essentials on placement, which had a really awesome reaction from everybody. As far as we know, there's really nothing out there like this anywhere that really teaches placement the way that Eddie has taught it for 3 decades. That's this one. So if I was going to send that to my partner towards the end of the month so that they can start to get it and then I can help them, I click on this. I put in their name. I'm just going to put in partner. Okay. And that also generates a link. So when they open it, I get notified. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of cut this out of here and paste it into my browser again so that I can see the video. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. It is too long, but here it is. And you'll see that we do cover everything in here. We talk about the
First generation. That means
the generations. We talk about
someone who built
placing your strength at the top. We
Proud of
talk
their
about
range.
the
So
impact on your income long
that's
term.
that friends and family
We talk
parking
about
lot
the,
right there. A
the
leg.
beachfront properties and having a friend and family, quote, parking lot leg for all of your category 1s. So you can see it's a thorough training, and it is now sendable to your partners. So there you go. All right. Did we miss anything, Eddie?
I don't think so. Yeah.
We've been going through the whole system with a fine-tooth comb. And so there are going to be things that you'll see that maybe we haven't touched yet, but I'm actually being serious. We're touching everything. And there's 2 glaring ones I know you guys are waiting for. The overview, which we've already talked about on a previous call, but since we might have some new people, we are updating our overview. It's probably going to be one of the last things that we do. And why is that? There's a number of reasons. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's going to be fantastic. It will incorporate the new slide feel and the new slide format from the Melaleuca slides. But the things that work about our overview as it is right now, that's not going to go away. It's going to be great. It's going to work. It's going to work even better, we think. And it will be coming out probably towards the end of when we do all of this, and the complete system training, because complete system training is full of screenshots and everything. It needs to have everything else done before that gets fully redone. So we're kind of in this phase where everything still works. It's just that some of the stuff is newer and some of the stuff is still being updated. All right, so I think that's going to be pretty much it. Eddie, any final thoughts about anything on here in terms of how we teach it or the impact that it's going to make?
I really think we've hit a home run with just allowing people to understand, to follow the bases. Out of the dugout, at home plate, leads to first, leads to second, leads to third, home run when they get to director. And that's so simple and so easy to understand. I mean, an 8-year-old, if he'll just follow the bases, pay a little bit of attention, not get crazy, no big notes to take. He can watch everything twice and 3 times if he's, just to get, matter of fact, the second and third time you hear everything that Chris has just said tonight, it really starts to stick. This is how we develop directors. It's how we build businesses to last a lifetime. It's how we teach our new partners to teach their people. We're teaching the teachers. Every time you develop a new director, your only hope is that he develops some directors himself to get to director 3 and 4 and 6 and 8 and senior and executive director. And if that begins to duplicate for you, Katie bar the door. That's how everybody wins.
Yes.
The guy with the most home runs wins the game.
Eddie, along those lines, someone had asked, well, what if somebody I'm talking with doesn't understand baseball? And my reaction is, well, number one, I know maybe in different countries, different sports are more popular. Baseball is a pretty much American and Canadian thing. However, if you knew nothing about baseball and you looked at that graphic and you understand what numbers are, you still can't mess it up. Am I right?
I guess we could, for those folks, we could just put the numbers in a straight line.
Right. I know. Right. Yeah. There we go. But then you don't have a cycle though. So anyway, but yeah, I don't think if someone's not familiar with baseball, I don't think it's going to make that big of a deal. I think most people have probably heard of baseball and know that you strike the ball and run around the bases, but that's all you need to know. In fact, you don't even need to know that. If you can just read the list on the right of this document and then look at the bases while you read it, you can't mess up. I mean, it's so much simpler too than the other, flow chart that was going all over the page and the roadmap thing. This is just so much easier. Okay, so let's go back then to our slide, and I'm going to put up the reminders for next time again. So here's our dates. Don't forget July 13th and the 27th. We plan to have some big releases on both of those days. But definitely talk up the July 13th. Make sure you get everybody there, even people who maybe have, for some reason life gets in the way. Maybe they've kind of gotten a little bit flat or fell off the rails a little bit with their business. And this is a great way to get them back involved, interested with new content. So I would definitely invite everybody to that one. It's going to be a good one. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bestoso?
No, I just want to thank you, and I want to thank Ashley for answering all the questions that came in, and she'll be working again at it later tonight and probably tomorrow as well. There's a lot of customer service that goes on here to help everybody win, and we just want to help people reach their goals. That's your job, to help your friend, and it's our job to help you do that job. So we're so thrilled. We had a great audience tonight, and Christian did a fabulous job. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eddie. You did too. I also want to thank Ashley always for being with us and everything she does behind the scenes. I also want to thank a couple of folks too that I love to bounce ideas off, and we get great feedback from the field. But just want to mention Jeremy Schoenberger. I love bouncing ideas off of you, brother, and Kevin and Melissa Connect. You guys definitely played a big role in some of the stuff that we put together this time. So anyways, just wanted to say thanks to the entire community, and be looking for this to come up in the Facebook group at some point in the next 24 hours, and you can tag your teams then. All right, everybody, have an awesome rest of your week and a fantastic rest of your month of June. We'll see you in July. Thanks again, Eddie.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chris.
All right, bye-bye.